All right, are you Demitri Oliver? And so Mr. Gertz represents Mr. Oliver and has filed a writ of habeas corpus requesting a reasonable bond. Mr. Oliver is charged with the offense of murder. It is pre-indicted. There's $1 million bond set at this time. And I don't have a file, but I do have the writ, which is number 22-39802. Also, it looks like, anyway, I have a for the record, I do have a copy of the probable cause affidavit and that application for writ. Mr. Gertz, you may proceed.
Judge, first and foremost, this is essentially a cold case. Detective Busby is working on it as a cold case situation. So it's been around. My client has been living in Southeast Texas his whole life, has been here, and I'd like to call him briefly to talk about his personal financial situation for the purposes of the finance aspect of the writ.
Raise your right hand the best you can, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead, Mr. West.
Mr. Oliver, do you have $100,000 in cash? Do you have what were you doing before you were arrested for this?
I've done cargo maintenance service delivery for Walmart.
Okay. And you're being paid by Walmart, is that right?
Yes, sir.
What were you being paid an hour?
They give us $100 a day.
$100 a day. So how many days a week would you
We
work?
work 7 days a week.
7 days, so 700.
A week.
Okay. So that's $2,800 a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own your own home, free and clear?
No, sir.
Do you understand what I mean by free and
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you own any other property that you don't have a lien on or something of that nature?
Yes.
What do you own?
Apartment complex.
Okay.
Fourplex.
A fourplex?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you owe on that?
I don't own nothing. It's got to.
How much was gifted to you?
Yes, sir.
Was it inheritance?
Yes, sir. It was,
How much is that worth if we were going to estimate?
the last property value I got on it was $68,000.
$68,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And do you own any other major things of value? And by that, I mean, stocks, bonds, gold,
No, sir.
Bitcoin, anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. Does that $68,000 apartment complex, does that generate some type of revenue for
Yes,
you?
sir.
How much revenue does that generate a month?
$2,600 a month.
2,600 a month.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any other major sources of funding that you are aware of? Okay, good. Judge, I have no further questions about that issue.
Ms. Malpino, any questions?
Mr. Oliver, what is your criminal history?
Being arrested in a motor vehicle and possession of controlled substance.
Was that possession of a controlled substance actually out of this court?
No, it was out of Stevenson's.
Stevens Court.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you on probation for
No,
that?
you know nothing.
Were you convicted of that?
Yes, ma'am.
When?
In 2014, 15.
Were you convicted again in 2025?
No,
Between 2013 and now, tell the court what type of trouble you have gotten into.
to child phone 13 on that high speed chase. I ain't been in no trouble since then.
That was the evading.
Yes, ma'am. That was it. Yes, ma'am.
I don't have any further questions.
Any other witnesses?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Malpino, witness.
I would call Detective Jeff Busby.
Good morning, sir. If you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Detective Busby, would you please state your full name for the record?
So Jeffrey Busby,
And how are you employed?
City of Beaumont Police Department.
And are you a certified peace officer in the state of Texas?
Yes, ma'am. I'm
And-
a master peace officer.
And are you also assigned to the detective unit?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you the detective or one of the detectives, in fact, the lead, investigating what we have termed a cold case murder involving the suspect Demitri Oliver?
Yes, ma'am.
The judge has reviewed the probable cause affidavit, but based on all of your investigation and the totality of the circumstances, would you give the court a very brief rundown as to the facts of this offense and what you think would be an appropriate resolution to this bond matter?
Okay. So April 11th, 2013, there was a homicide that took place at Primrose Apartments, 2575 Primrose. From there was different witnesses, but a lot of them didn't want to come forward just because of the nature of the offense. And that's what kind of turned this into a cold case because witnesses didn't want to speak on this. And it just prolonged until I picked this up about September of last year. From there, we interviewed witnesses, got eyewitnesses that were now at this point willing to come forward to give me their testimony of eyewitnesses that puts Mr. Oliver there and actually the trigger puller that committed this homicide. That's what, how we got the probable cause affidavit. By speaking to these witnesses, most of them were very scared and feared. That's why they want to come forward. And even after speaking to them 2 or 3 different times, they really were afraid of this man and even considered him evil.
Anything else?
No.
Mr. Gardner, questions?
Detective, is there any physical evidence that you gathered that connects Mr. Oliver to the murder itself?
So there's a lot of evidence that was collected, and I'm retesting some of the DNA evidence. Now, some of the evidence did have a CODIS hit. It wasn't for Mr. Oliver. It was another person involved. But for that DNA evidence, it was not particularly for the homicide. It was going to be for the stolen vehicle related to this homicide.
Right. Because what happened here was seemingly after the murder, the vehicle was disposed of in a separate location. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. They committed the homicide, stole his vehicle, and within 24 hours dumped the vehicle.
Okay. And the DNA that you found that relates to someone else was from that vehicle. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct? And so, have you been able to rule out? You said Mr. Oliver. Were you able to rule out the decedent as well from that?
Have been able to rule out Mr. Oliver or the other involved person.
But you said the CODIS is for someone else other than Mr. Oliver, correct?
Yes, sir. There was some evidence that didn't get put into CODIS that I'm going to resend and have it put into CODIS to see if we can get hits on that.
Okay.
When I was reviewing this case, they had, I don't know, somewhere 30 to 40 pieces of evidence that was collected that they did swabs on, and not all of it was entered at the time. I couldn't give you a reason why. This is 2013.
Sure. What's the timeline for turnaround and something like that? Do you know?
I'm not exactly sure. We're going to probably go to a private lab to get it quicker to expedite this, but I couldn't give you an actual timeline.
But I mean, it was unlikely to be within, say, the next 90 days or so. Do you agree?
I don't have a valid opinion on that.
Judge, I don't have anything further.
All right, any other questions?
No.
Thank you, Detective.
Judge, may you be excused? He's in SWAT training.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thanks for coming down. All right, anything else?
No.
All right, argument?
Judge, we're just asking the court consider a bond in the ballpark of $500,000 to $700,000. That's more than sufficiently high under the circumstances that we have right now, which is just informant-based or witness-based testimony. There's no physical evidence tying him to the crime. And I'm not trying to litigate the crime here. I'm just saying for a situation in which it's, 13 years later, he's still here. He hasn't fled. He's not gone to the Bermuda or something to get away from this. So clearly he doesn't have that consciousness of guilt that would be required or would indicate that he'd be a flight risk. He owns a piece of property here, although it's not valued very high, but he owns a piece of property here. He's been a lifelong resident here. And so we're asking the court to consider reducing the bond to in the ballpark of $500,000 to $700,000.
Ms. Malvino?
Judge, I would defer to the discretion of the court in this case. I do recognize the fact that it's a 2013 offense date and he still apparently is in the area. My concern is the same as with every homicide case. I would just ask the court to take into consideration all of the facts presented before you, both in the probable cause and by Detective Busby, and set something that is commiserate with the other bonds that the court set in Jefferson County for these types of offenses.
Thank you. And I will, for purposes of the record, I have to take judicial notice of the court's file and review the probable cause affidavit. Based on that, the evidence presented, including, some of the limited facts that I have and dates and things like that, I am going to grant the motion or the writ. I'm going to set bond at $650,000. And a condition of that bond, if made, or some conditions of that bond, if made, will be that Mr. Oliver, you be required to wear a GPS monitoring device at all times. And what is your home address? Where do you live?
7290 Willis Line.
7290
Willis.
Willis?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that in both? That's here.
Yes, ma'am.
And then your apartment complex is what address?
4305 Jeanette Street, Beaumont, Texas.
4305 Jeanette
Yes, ma'am.
with a J.
Yes, ma'am.
A-N-E. So I'm going to, at least if you make this bond for some amount of time, also require that you wear that monitoring device and that you're on house arrest. I will allow you house arrest at the Willis Street house. I will allow you to travel to the Jeanette Street address for any required maintenance and things like that. I would need to know more about this job before I agree to that. Just hang on, get with Mr. Gertz. And if there's any specific requests, you can get with Mr. Gertz. He'll get those to me. And if I find that they're reasonable, I'll send that to Ms. Malvino and I will make some adjustments to that.
Yes, ma'am.
But at this point, that's what it is until you talk to him and you get my permission for anything else.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition to those two places, you can also go to Mr. Gertz's office for attorney visits and to court. So until further order of the court, that's it.
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, may I make just one last request?
Yes.
Based on the testimony of Detective Busby and his making the comment that at one point in time, at least witnesses were concerned and possibly are still concerned for their well-being. I will get with the intake division when I take this case back to them and ask them to compile a list of possible witnesses and ask that he be ordered to have no contact with
Yes.
those individuals, and we can plug in that information to the.
Yeah,
GPS.
so I will go ahead and order it now and then we'll fill in the blank on those names. But anyone that you know, even now through word of mouth or on the streets or whatever you've heard of people who were there, who were talking, you are to have absolutely no communication and no contact with them. That's through obviously you seeing them in person, but it's also sending messages on any type of social media or trying to be secret with it. It's also sending messages through other people. No contact, no communication. If there is any of that and I find out about it, you'll be back in jail with a much, much higher bond. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So make sure you follow all of those rules if you make that bond.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.